Welcome to Academy Answers Podcast, a show dedicated to inspiring and providing actionable advice on life, business, happiness, success, and reaching your full potential. Have you ever felt frustrated that life isn't working out the way you expected? Have you been searching for answers without success? You've come to the right place. Each week, we bring you perspectives, ideas, and actionable content. We share with you proven and time-tested step-by-step strategies to help you live the life you deserve and make your dreams a reality. From health to finances to relationships to business, we provide the insights and strategies you need to reach your full potential. So buckle up and plug in, because Academy Answers Podcast is about to take you to a new level of personal success.
Top of the morning, guys. Welcome to the Academy Answers Podcast. Thanks for joining us and thanks for listening in. And of course, you realize I cannot get out of this morning greeting because it's the morning when I'm doing it. Although I realize and I understand that you are listening to this content on your own time when you want. And that's the beauty of it. You remember when you were growing up, we had, I grew up in rural Jamaica, so we were pretty much only form of communication was person to person. And when somebody is in a different parish, we call it, in the first world country, they call them states and province and counties, but we call them parishes. And you had to write a letter, and that letter take 14 days, 21 days, however long, if it ever reaches. And then also, if your friend who is a mile or two down the road, if you wanted to see that guy, you probably could go 4 weeks and not get in touch with them because you'd have to walk there, and then that might be the time when they're gone somewhere. You leave a message, the person you leave the message with might not remember to tell them, and then you walk there another time, you still can't get in touch with them. So people hand out messages. So there's 5 people that you have relied upon, and you kind of hope that one of the 5 people will remember and see that person at an opportune point in time to tell them that you're trying to get in touch with them. Now the times are different. You could easily go on your phone and use any one of these almost hundreds of apps to say, hey, how are you doing? I'm trying to get in touch with you. They could call you back right away. And even if it's in the middle of the night when they don't want to disturb you, they could leave your message, they could leave your voice note, they could leave your video, they could say anything, and you could all go through what you need to go through without actually having a one-on-one personal conversation. They could answer your questions, they could solve a problem without you getting into that. So these are marvelous times when it comes on to technology. I don't know if I've told you the story before about welcome to the Academy Answers Podcast. Thanks for joining me. And this is a podcast where we talk about happiness, success, full potential. If you're listening for the first time, welcome you, and I hope you follow. If you get value, if I'm the type of person you listen to, if I resonate with you, and I often say this way, everybody's not our people. And not because they're not your people mean anything is wrong with that. They're really good singers that I don't follow. I wouldn't listen to an album, but I appreciate what they say and I can relate to it. And I love music, so at some point in time, I have the people who I do listen to, and then there are the people who don't listen to the people I listen to. This is all objective, and we all have some invisible force that tend to draw us to people. What I often say on this podcast, if I am not the one you listen to, that's fine. Find someone who is saying the things along the lines that I'm listening to, that I'm saying to listen to. Find a mentor, find a coach. Doesn't have to be a one-on-one. They can be virtual. Watch what they do. Listen to what they say. Gather the knowledge and from the resources they are sharing and they're using, and move your life forward. And in a nutshell, anybody who is saying take personal responsibility for your life, you can become what you want to become. You can be happy. You can get to high levels of success. You can fulfill your dreams. You have a duty to work towards your goals and your freedom. Anyone who is saying that resonates with you, you like their voice, you like their style, go ahead, listen to them. It doesn't have to be me. If it's me, great. I'm happy. Love having people listen to me. Love helping people. If it's not me, fine. I am absolutely okay with that. This is how the world works. This is how nature works. I didn't make the rules. That's how the world works. I don't know if I've told you the story before. I may have said it before, but a lot of times we often need to be reminded, then we need to be instructed. And that is about the farmer who was passing his fellow farmer's property. And he's like, "Oh, Mr. Brown, you are so lucky." He looked over there and admired the beautiful vegetation, how thriving his cultivation seemed to be, neatly placed crops on his farm, all look flourishing, everything looking nice and green and prosperous. And he said, "Mr. Brown, you're lucky, you're so lucky to have such a beautiful farm." And Mr. Brown said to him, "I understand, Sammy. Thank you. I am grateful to God for having such a beautiful farm." In fact, Sammy said to Mr. Brown, "Mr. Brown, you are lucky and you are blessed. God blessed you with a beautiful farm." And Mr. Brown said, "You're right, Sammy. I am thankful to God for blessing me with a beautiful farm. But you should have seen this plot of land when God had it by himself." And the moral of the story is, we are co-creators of the world, of the universe, of the planet. God didn't give us farms. He didn't give us houses. He gave us a raw material. He planted that imagination in our minds, and he left the resources on the planet. So we could use our imagination to develop these resources to give us what we want, to make this planet look like it looked today, with all these beautiful things that we get to benefit from today. So, in the beginning, there was light. There is water, there is land. And 2,000 years or so after, there are houses, cars, technology, buildings, the light bulb, the wheel, the metal, food of all sorts, shape, all type of stuff here with us on this planet. And God didn't do it on his own. We didn't do it on our own. We did it together. Because nothing here is a single-handed effort. It is a group effort. And the fact that I want to bring home to you is that you have a duty and you have the skills and potential. You might not have the skills, but you have the potential to develop the skills to create what you were meant to create in the world. Your meaning. And nobody that you see with it, I was saying this in my mastermind yesterday, that nobody that you look around you and see with this thing got it out of thin air. Like, it's easy to look at any person and believe that it's a luck game or it is an opportunity type of deal, and we often do that. I heard Lisa Nichols said that, one powerful piece. She said that you are so fascinated and you keep reminding me and glorifying me of my greatness as an excuse to abscond yourself from doing what it takes to unearth your own greatness. So the play is always, or the talk is always, wow, he's got amazing talent. Wow, he has all these opportunities. He went to a good school. He went to this college. Do you know who his parents were? Do you understand the lucky breaks he got? And all this line of things that make it seem like everybody else gotta have this golden path, and your path is non-existent. As if there is a magic wand that some people have come upon, but you did not come upon it. Not believing in principles, not believing in models, not believing in the laws of the universe that work, not believing causes and effect, but believe in chances and luck and weird mechanisms that society project on us. And it is such a, maybe a cliche that we are our own greatest enemies, but we don't appreciate that enough to stop and think of ways to stop hurting ourselves, to stop being the enemy of ourselves, to start to realize that everything great that is around us, that has been built, took sacrifice and work and effort. It was imagination, there was effort, and there was perseverance. There are millions, if not billions, of people all over the world today using the iPhone. But have you ever heard of the Steve Jobs story and his process? There are millions of people over the world driving Honda motor vehicles. If you hear of the Honda story, the story of Mr. Honda? Have you read that story? Did you read about Edison and the light bulb? What about Sir Isaac Newton's story? What about Bob Marley's story? What about Usain Bolt's story? What about KFC story? What about Walmart's story? And it goes on and on at every level. Even your instructor, check your gym instructor, your personal trainer. Go talk to the guy next door who is on his 25th property or his 10th property. Every level, the billionaire, the multimillionaire, the rich, a couple of millions, all have story of a journey. And it's easy to say, hey, yeah, his father gave it to him. Oh, they were born in riches and everything. But the fact remains, like, and the numbers are the numbers. 85 to probably 90% of millionaires are self-made. It wasn't handed to them. And if you just take a look back at their stories, then you will see the process and realize that they didn't have it figured out any more than you don't have it figured out right now, as you are. Sylvester Stallone, Samuel L. Jackson, Harrison Ford, and the list goes on. Richard Branson, all these people created the life that they want, despite the adversities. They didn't give up. And I was saying also in my mastermind yesterday, and I have to share this with you, that the two most common mistakes or foul-ups or common variable or factor in the anything you want to call it, in the success space, in the happiness space, is one, people who have given up on their success and their happiness because of the layers that they have, society and themselves have amassed on themselves. Piles of layers, thick to cut through, too much, too heavy, takes too much work, so they've given up. And the second one is another long line of people never started or never stayed long enough. Hundreds of millions of homes you could go into and find exercise equipment and unhealthy people, unfit. They've started, they've purchased the stuff, they have the course. Many homes you'll find ton of books. They've bought the book, didn't read it. So while there is a yearning, while there is a desire to get to a certain place and a certain position in life, the will to push through is very scarce. You're not going to find it so easily. And it is because we have human beings who have been cultured a certain way, and because the habit and the discipline is so hard to build, not to mention what is being fed every day into their consciousness, they give up on their dreams and their happiness because it seemed hopeless. So here you are, having to climb a mountain. You already have the backpacks on your back, the debt, the family, the stresses, the not enough money, the inflation, the government, all that stuff. Those things that you can't help. You have this backpack heavy with these things in your backpack, on your back, climbing the mountain, and society keep adding to it. So it becomes so heavy and so burdensome that we give up, we stop. But because in the human mind we need a rationale to soothe and to quiet the heart, so we need something to say that it's because of this, so our mind can be at rest a little bit. We start to blame, point fingers, come up with excuses, outsource our happiness, not taking personal responsibility, and then our life continue to descend into what we don't want it to be, but we continue to say that it's okay, and we live life of quiet desperation. The best advice I can give you is to make a plan. Make a plan. Go get it, help with it, get it from somewhere, figure it out in your mind as your plan. It's not going to be perfect. It won't have the right elements. You'll add as you go along, but make the plan as a roadmap. After you have made that plan, let it sink in your spirit that it is possible for you. And then you will do everything in your power to execute on the task that you have broken down to implement this plan. Because all plans are the big picture, but the tasks are the daily steps. And when you set out on this journey, and I've been saying this for the past how many weeks, when you set out on this journey, understand as another fundamental principle that there's no 2023, there's no 2024, there's no 2025 when it comes on to getting to where you want to get to in life. There is today, And when tomorrow turns into today, there will be today. And when next week, Monday, turns into today, it will be today. Your ability to grip today and execute the task that you have outlined for today will make the difference between you getting to your goals or staying stuck where you are. And I'll end it right here. Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure. Have a beautiful one. Continue to believe in your dreams. Continue to hold yourself accountable. Continue to believe. Continue to think positive.
You've been enjoying the Academy Answers podcast, a show dedicated to inspiring and providing actionable advice on life, business, happiness, success, and reaching your full potential. Join us again next time for insights and strategies you need to reach your full potential here on Academy Answers podcast.